Hi, everyone, and welcome to our semi-annual, maybe first time ever, maybe whatever. We're just the boring enterprise nerds, me, myself, Paul Moderman, and Yelena Parfilieva, are going to provide our esteemed and highly valued reactions to Sapphire announcements, keynote addresses, news, and all that kind of stuff. Yelena has queued up some video stuff for some of this stuff so we can react to some keynote pieces. And I think maybe let's just get started, Yelena, and react to some things we've noticed here about this stuff.
Yep. We've heard that reaction videos are getting popular among the cool kids, so not to be outdone. So on YouTube, these are fully available public videos at the time.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a look at the opening keynote. There were 3 keynotes altogether, right, Paul? I think
So, yeah.
This was the main one, so we will just quickly do some highlights, and then we will probably look at the developer highlights.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go.
Sure. This is why I love Sapphire. I love the passion. I love the energy on the show floor. But this year, it's going to be a very special Sapphire because we are entering a new phase of AI with endless possibilities for all of us. And in the next 2 days, we are going to show you how you can make the most out of this decisive moment for your company. Or to put it in simple terms, how we can support you to bring out your best.
My reaction, because I started going to Sapphires, either paying attention or going to Orlando in about 10 years ago, I think. And so my first few times I was watching Bill McDermott do his keynote thing, and sometimes Hasso Plattner would show up and do his thing, but Bill was still like the MC of the whole deal. And there's such a huge difference that I kind of love the difference between the Bill McDermott and the Christian Klein, because, and we talked about this, like the Bill McDermott is like the best dressed used car salesman you've ever seen. He's like slick and shiny and blah. And Christian Klein is he's got this, like, obviously he knows tons of stuff.
Yeah.
But he's got this sort of wonky feel, like wonky, like, I mean wonk in like the positive way, like really knowledgeable about like details, specific things. But he doesn't have that same like showmanship energy to his presentations. But I like the contrast, I guess is what I'm saying. But it's so different.
Yeah, but that and most of the guys in the leadership, they're German. I mean, it was always the case, but I think, I mean, CEO is from Germany, CIO as well. They kind of have, I mean, similar energy, and it's typically, I think, for folks from Germany to be different than what we're used to in the US. Because Bill McDermott, there was another guy, forgot his name, but also from the US. So you could clearly see similarities, this kind of dazzling sales type of presentation versus more measured, I would say, and kind of calm. And I think, I mean, Christian Klein couldn't care less what we are kind of thinking about his delivery of the
What do you think the odds are that he ever sees this video? 0% or
like,
negative infinity%?
Sorry, you should see this. Some people are commenting like, if you want to send the drones to exterminate, we can just say the word. But I think it's there is it's kind of, it's different. It's different is good. Different can be good as well. All right, awesome. So there are also some partners that were kind of invited on the stage. So we just wanted to quickly look at some highlights of those conversations. So first will be AWS person. Let's see if I can find him. There you go.
Matt Carmen.
Bigger over time, so thank you. And that includes using SAP inside of Amazon, as you mentioned. And Inside of Amazon, there are several organizations that use SAP. Teams like Twitch and Zappos use it for mission-critical workloads.
Yeah. So you can stop it here.
Yeah.
My reaction, because there's 3 like technology partner guests they bring out. This guy from AWS, Jensen Huang from NVIDIA, and then Mike Rockwell from Apple, who's the Vision Pro like VP or whatever.
Yeah.
And all of them, obviously, they run different businesses than SAP. So you're not going to have somebody out there who's like, "Hey, Christian, I know just as much about SAP as you do." Like, that's not going to be the case, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, this guy from AWS, I think, is probably most closely aligned to SAP's interests in terms of, like, he operates a service that SAP itself and many of SAP customers use to run SAP solutions for people, right?
Yeah.
And he like he's pointing out like different business units and functions that use SAP inside
exactly.
AWS and Amazon. And he's got that I know what software my company uses feel to him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Contrast that, of course, with what we'll see with Jensen Huang from NVIDIA and this other guy from Apple. Like, my impression of those other 2 was like, those people essentially were saying, I barely ever think about SAP at all.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's cool because they're showing things that they're doing with SAP in some way or another. But like you can tell that it doesn't really enter their brains as that's the level that I have to be engaged with my business at, right?
Yeah, and the vibe is totally different.
Yeah.
And I was kind of thought about funny thoughts that maybe this AWS CEO knows just as much about SAP as Christian Klein knows about AWS. I think that's probably that might be
probably
fair
a good
assessment. So they're much they're definitely more alignments and
actually that's probably that comparison probably goes because I'll bet you Christian Klein knows more about NVIDIA and Apple than the NVIDIA and Apple guy know about SAP, right? Like, they're just like more well-known consumer and business brands.
Yeah.
And SAP doesn't exist at all in the consumer space, right?
Yeah.
And just like the world doesn't, outside of SAP conferences, hardly anybody ever thinks about SAP. You know what I mean? But like NVIDIA or Apple, like, you can be regular Joe consumer who does nothing with business or enterprise, and you will still encounter those brands. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And to borrow from Silicon Valley, this guy SAP's definitely. I bet he goes to SAP for some data, maybe not to SAP GUI directly, but he definitely he's been around. He's been around SAP.
He's seen some shit, man. He's seen some shit.
Yeah. All right. So let's look at the next guest.
It's very nice to see you.
It's good to see that the technology works, I have to say.
I can't relate to that. I was like, it's, I mean, honestly, it's 2024 and we're so excited that, yes, thankfully, I got the same feeling about Zoom sometimes. And I mean, you've seen our share of problems with that.
Yeah, so that's Jensen Huang from NVIDIA.
Yeah.
And of course, SAP is talking about like their partnership to like do some new stuff in Joule and that kind of stuff. But like, it doesn't, that stuff doesn't rise necessarily to Jensen's level of awareness too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And poor guy must be, just exhausted on other side of the world and phoning into some kind of like, who are these people?
Okay, what is
which conference? Okay, just like one of those, rock stars doing promotion for their album, talking to like WK something, Wisconsin, or like who are you? Like, okay, just assistant like quickly.
The little note card behind the camera is telling him who he's talking to, right?
I love
hearing about SAP and how it's business software. helps me do, yeah.
And there is AI making like prompts like, yeah, what is this about? Okay, SAP. Okay, got it. Okay, nice. All right, awesome. All right, so let's take a look at the next guest.
Go to the Apple
so
guy.
Should be somewhere. Let's see around here.
This one's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Just very slightly, because he actually says, hey, SAP Analytics Cloud app or whatever runs on Vision Pro, which I think just really means it runs on Mac OS. So it can run on Vision Pro, right? Like it's not, I don't know whether it's got super awesome Vision Pro stuff in there, but but same deal. Like he goes in this part of the speech, he goes on and on about Apple Vision Pro, and then he like lightly lands on the branch of SAP for a minute, and then flits off of it again. You know what I mean? Like
SAP also somehow. But I mean, this guy is like vice president of Vision Products Group.
Yeah,
like it's
just not an SAP
cyber focus. Let's give it just a listen for a second.
Enterprises can apply spatial computing to meaningful business outcomes. So Mike, I'd love for you to talk a little bit about spatial computing innovation, but particularly how it's helping businesses transform.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I've been working on this project at Apple for many years, and Apple Vision Pro is a revolutionary spatial computer.
I'm not gonna disagree, but I don't know. It's kind of in the enterprise world. This is like cool, but we
just not gonna.
Google Glass like never caught on. Some other devices,
and
Meta has their stuff.
At this point, maybe in the near future, next 2 or 3 iterations down the road from this or Meta or whatever, like some visual hardware will be useful to the people out in the warehouse doing things. But right now, I don't think there's any business out there in the world who's like, yeah, we're gonna strap on $3,700 of computer to somebody's face that runs for a couple of hours before it runs out of battery. And they're gonna be able to stack boxes way better because of this, right? That's just not quite where things are yet,
So interesting idea, but like okay. I'm actually I honestly I would be more curious to hear how Apple is actually using SAP for their own business, because I'm pretty sure they do. They absolutely do. They sell stuff. They have warehouses. I would honestly love to hear about that. So maybe next year bring Apple as a customer. That would be an interesting story to me. More than this, like whatever.
Well, and that's something you and I have both talked about too. Is that like how hearing from customers, because the stuff we didn't show, but there's a couple of like customers in this keynote thing too, and like customers always say things that us, like those of us in the weeds, actually want to hear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I think we're gonna cover some of the Joule stuff with the developer stuff. So let's jump to that.
So let's go there. All right. So let's take a look at the SAP developer news. So developer news is something that SAP developer advocates publish regularly, and they did have special edition for day 1 and day 2. But if anyone is interested to follow this, they post this type of videos on YouTube regularly. All right, so I'm just gonna skip some introductions and let's take a look. So first one is clean core strategy. So let's take a listen.
Hello, hope everyone has reached Sapphire Orlando safely and is ready for a solid week of learning and networking. I got some details around the application development announcements coming out of Orlando this morning. And today we are officially announcing the new capabilities in the SAP Build Low Code and Pro Code tooling, as well as in ABAP Cloud, offering a major advancement in SAP's clean.
So, I mean, energy is contagious in this announcement. But I want to pencil this under Rich being tired probably after a long day in Orlando. I mean, it's I don't know. I mean, it's not really anything new. Again, I guess SAP recommits once again to clean core strategy and ABAP Cloud. I don't know, Paul, do you have like any And there is this really kind of long segment here, but I watched through that, and it's just mostly reading of the announcement. So
yeah, there was a little bit of hullabaloo on Twitter.
Yeah.
About some of the like screenshots of code that people showed from getting generated by Joule and that kind of stuff. And I can kind of see the arguments on both sides of the fence for what's going on there, both in terms of like, I don't know if I'd like stamp my name on that code, but at the same time, I can see where like a business would be like, does it work? Yeah, okay, put it in. Like, do it. Right? Like, I can see that 100% happening. I mean, I saw, and I'm not going to wander off here. I'm just going to say one thing. I saw a note that I think was it Shell or BP, some big oil company put an announcement out there that they have reduced their third-party software dev work by 70% from using generative AI and stuff like that. I don't know the details of that. The details of that. I don't know what that actually means, right?
Yeah.
But I can tell you from like where I've been doing my own work and seeing and talking to people that like the executive appetite to like obliterate developer costs is enormous. So like those of us out there in the like the nerd side of the camp are like, that code isn't very good and this and that, whatever. Like people who sign the checks are going to shout us down, I think, on that stuff.
Yeah, I actually have a, so in our newsletter that we publish occasionally, I actually do have a story which probably will be published by the time this video goes live.
Yeah.
It is very interesting story around ABAP and Sapphire in general. So so another announcement here is commitment to UNESCO something principles. That's just, I don't know, it's not really do you wanna play it?
I don't even care about it. I mean, the only thing to say is that we talked about this. I care about ethical principles. I don't care about a big company telling me that they committed to them.
Announcing
like that's
no. Yeah. So next bit here, that's probably interesting. Let's see.
Hello everyone. SAP unveiled new solution diagrams and reference architectures for solutions developed using SAP Business Technology Platform. The updates are designed to accelerate implementation project timelines, help customers optimize operations, and streamline integration processes for businesses using SAP applications.
So, I mean, I love diagrams, but I'm struggling to connect the dots between we have like diagram solution and that helps you like run your business. Like, like what does it do exactly?
Yeah, I don't know.
So, and I some visibility have been given to that. I'm wondering if that just makes me think like, is there no better stuff to showcase, or is there something that I'm not seeing? I guess that's kind of my reaction to it. It's like, cool story, bro, but also like diagrams. Okay, fine. Okay, so next one. So this one is sounds interesting, but I'm not really sure.
I didn't have any reaction to that.
Yeah. So anomaly detection. Let's take a listen to this.
Hola, SAP developers. Have you heard about the new functionality in API management that was just announced as part of Sapphire? API management will include a new anomaly detection functionality that allows you to track a subset of your most critical APIs and easily identify, for example, a surge or a drop in API calls or an increase in the number of errors. The functionality uses machine learning under the hood, and it will learn from your API's normal behavior usage and notify you automatically whenever an anomaly is detected in the behavior of the API. Pretty cool.
This is one of those things. I did a story about this last time. I think it's going to be in our next ASUG story too. This is one of those places where this brand of anomaly detection, AI, machine learning, whatever you want to call it, this is that other track of AI. This is not ChatGPT or generative AI.
Yeah.
This is like the stuff like we didn't need ChatGPT to be able to do this.
Yeah.
Right. This could have been done years ago. Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not criticizing SAP for not doing it years ago. I'm just saying that for listeners' benefit or whoever's benefit, right, is that the solution here is a separate technology track than ChatGPT or NVIDIA, announcements about Joule or whatever. That's not what this is.
Yeah.
Although this is really cool.
Yeah. It's so clearly included in SAP integration suite. So if someone is not using that, I guess tough luck for them. So all right. So I think that was it for this day one. So let's go to the day two. Okay, so here we go. So big stuff.
Buddy, are you ready for this? SAP has announced the ongoing extensive integration of Joule, the generative AI co-pilot, throughout the enterprise portfolio as well.
So yeah, so this announcement, that was probably, big announcement as far as SAP is concerned. That's what everyone was kind of semi-expecting. Again, I don't want to criticize SAP too much, but first of all, I think the announcement was like, it's like in SuccessFactors, it's in Ariba, it's like in here and here and there, but not really where most customers really want that. I think it will be also coming to S/4HANA, maybe for RISE customers, and that's the second part of those announcements. A lot of them were actually, coming quarter 3, quarter 4.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I guess,
there has definitely been a flavor lately, and this is not just SAP, but everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody announces things well before they're available these days, right? This, I don't know how much, if I was going to go out and go like, I'm going to go S/4HANA Cloud public edition, right? Can I have Joule, this stuff right now? I don't even know. I can't remember. But like you should, like as a customer or a partner or just a watcher, you should always be watching for that little tag at the end of every announcement that says, and this is coming end of Q4, beginning of 2025 or whatever. Almost everything that gets announced has that little addendum to it of it coming soon.
And it wasn't hidden, but it was you have to look at that press release essentially to see this, not necessarily even small print, but it is kind of buried. It's not on the front line of the announcement. All right, so let's see, anything else in this AI
technology platforms.
I did note one other thing. One other thing I wanted to say. I don't know, and I don't even know whether, I can't remember of this whole segment here of this video. One of the pieces of what was announced was like part of the Joule capabilities coming for like, it's the consulting capability.
It's
right?
the next one. Okay, so
that one part of that has been the thing that I wanted to say. Part of that is that like part of the data that helping refine that one is like the SAP community sites.
Yeah.
And in my head, I was like, interesting. I would love to know more about how you like refine that data before it goes to the AI, right? Because there's a lot of garbage out there, just for everything, right?
Yeah.
B, the community site engagement is in the toilet, right? The latest questions and stuff, like I don't think they're very high quality.
Yeah.
C, like let's just type. There's a C. Let's just hypothesize that this takes off and people use Joule to answer a lot of questions about SAP stuff, right? That's good, I think, for that. But if its source for helping people out is partially, I don't know to what percent, but partially sourced from community content, now all of a sudden, if I need to have a question answered and I get that question answered by Joule, I'm no longer contributing that to the community in any way. Is that knowledge going to like sort of evaporate over time too, and Joule will become outdated in its knowledge of what the community has to share with Joule or with each other, that then trains Joule, right? Like, or refines Joule or whatever you want to call it. This is probably fine tuning or RAG that helps it do that. Like if Joule is wildly successful in getting you the support questions and consulting answers you need, does that choke off the future version of Joule that does that? Because you choke off the people community like contributing things to each other?
Yeah.
I'm just curious about that.
Yeah, I think, I mean, demise of SAP community is like the whole separate subject. So, okay, so let's just fast forward to this part.
SAP is bringing new consulting capabilities to Joule. Its generative AI copilot aimed at simplifying SAP implementations for partners. The new consulting capability for Joule draws insights from SAP product documentation and the SAP community to provide consulting.
SAP community.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the part that's going to die.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the SAP community is dead, although it seems like it, but I'm saying that making Joule continually get better based on that will also, that river is going to dry up, Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I've definitely, and someone published actually statistics on LinkedIn, how percentage of posts by SAP themselves and by random community members, it's going in opposite direction.
It's just gone backwards.
So it's, and the same maybe goes for questions. I honestly, I mean, I don't want to go again into that very long conversation, but it's, like where the Joule 2.0 is gonna get its learning, I don't know. And we all know how great SAP documentation is. All right, so what else is there? Let's see.
A new certification program for IT professionals.
All right, guys. So it's just a new certification program. So I mean, it's okay. Certification is something I think we may have written about it, definitely spoken about it. It's like it exists. So that's that's nice. That's probably,
so it's there. That's one
probably
thing.
All we want to talk about it. All right. So let's see. After watching three keynotes, developer highlights. So Paul, I would ask, for the next Sapphire, like what would be your I wish that hopefully Christian Klein or whoever is CEO next year wink listens to? What did you like? What do you wish would have done differently?
I think the weird thing is, I think I would. This is weird for me to say as such a nerd. I would forego so much like celebrity chasing of the tech world.
Yeah.
And tell more customer stories about stuff, right? Like all this, obviously everyone's super jazzed about AI. That's great. Of course I love it. Tell real concrete stories of your customers doing stuff AI wise with SAP. And that's my wish out, like 1,000,000%. That's my wish.
Yeah.
What about you? What about you?
I agree completely on the customer stories. And as I mentioned, it would be nice to see Apple and Amazon and all of those big companies, not just as partners, but also as customers. And because even large consulting companies like Accenture, IBM, they also are SAP customers as well. So I think it's a very interesting twist on conversation.
Yeah.
And so what I liked, I guess it's mostly just Sapphire is actually even happening. It seemed like very nicely organized. Keynotes were kind of good, maybe a little bit too many for my taste, but it's great that we're at least getting back to in-person events, and it was definitely significant. And in Orlando, they're also going to have one in Europe. So that's definitely great thing that's going on.
So everyone, from all of our millions of watchers, please, drop a comment, yell at us if we said something dumb, agree with us if we said something smart. I hope it's probably more of the latter. But just we hope you get something out of our nerd rantings about a bunch of nerds ranting about things. So I guess on behalf of the Banner Boy Enterprise nerds, I say have a good day, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.